RM, you speak English, right?
Yes.
So pretty well. You taught yourself English?
Yes, I taught myself English.
How did you teach yourself English?
Actually, my English teacher was the sitcom Friends.
Oh, you
Yes,
watched
the legend.
Friends?
Yes.
Forget about grammar. Do not study grammar. 99% of your focus should be on comprehensible input.
Hello, I'm Kay. Were you surprised to see my face? Not at all? Okay, actually, I originally didn't plan to show my face in my content, so this situation is quite unfamiliar to me. There was a big reason that made me change my mind about appearing, and that's because I decided to shift the focus of this content from learning to occurring. Naturally, you might wonder, what's the big difference between learning and acquiring? Though they may seem similar, but they are distinctly different.
Linguist Dr. Stephen Krashen says that acquisition and learning are completely different and independent processes, with no overlap. Why did he claim they are so different? The two processes can be compared to how humans learn to walk versus how a robot is programmed to walk. Language acquisition is similar. If we look at how babies learn their native language, they are exposed to the language environment around them, and in their efforts to communicate or understand what they need, they naturally acquire their mother tongue. Babies don't need grammar lessons or textbooks like we do in classrooms. This is the key difference between acquisition and learning. In 1982, Dr. Krashen proposed his hypothesis titled Principles and Practices of Second Language Acquisition, claiming that language acquisition happens unconsciously, just like how babies learn their first language. Let's take a look at this famous video.
How do we acquire language? And I'd like to begin this discussion, this presentation, with an outrageous statement. In my opinion, we all acquire language the same way. We acquire language in one way and only one way, when we understand messages. We call this comprehensible input.
And this hypothesis has already become accepted as fact.
I actually was writing to Steve Krashen the other day. I said, why are we still calling this a hypothesis in 2024? And what has emerged over that time is that the role of communicatively embedded and comprehensible input in language acquisition as the source is a fact. It's not a hypothesis, it's a fact. We need to stop calling it a hypothesis because it's not conjecture. It's not something that needs to be tested. Hypotheses are meant to be tested.
Dr. Krashen's hypothesis was influenced by Professor Noam Chomsky's core concept, the language acquisition device, LAD. This theory suggests that after a long period of evolution, the human brain developed a device specifically for acquiring language. There are 6,500 to 7,000 languages on Earth, but no matter where a person is born or what linguistic environment they're in, they can successfully acquire their native language because of this biological foundation. But you might think, I'm not a baby, and I don't have a foreign mom to teach me a new language. So how can I apply this process these scholars are talking about?
RM, you speak English, right?
Yes.
So pretty well. You taught yourself English?
Yes, I taught myself English.
How did you teach yourself English?
Actually, my English teacher was the sitcom Friends.
Oh, you
Yes,
watched
the legend.
Friends?
Yes.
Forget about grammar. Do not study grammar. If you want to do grammar, fine, browse grammar. A minute a day, 2 minutes a day, etc. 99% of your focus should be on comprehensible input.
The answer lies in the method of input. Acquisition happens when countless situations are repeatedly fed into us until the language becomes naturally our own. So, what's the best input method for learning a language? Yes, it's listening. Then, can you just keep watching foreign content on Netflix or YouTube? No, that won't work. How about turning off the subtitles and listening? It's a good attempt, but still no. So, how should we listen?
I think a lot of people think if you want to get input in the classroom, it means you're talking at students or you're throwing input at students. No, you're talking with students. You're developing stories with students.
사람과 사람이 만나서 상호작용을 할 때 그때 언어 습득이 가장 잘 된다고 얘기해요. 이 상대방이 몰라. 그럼 내가 어떤 행위를 하겠어요? 뭐 햄버거 그림도 이렇게 표현해놓고 이렇게 하면서 You like 햄버거, you know 맥도날드 뭐 이러면서 막 이해하려고 시킬 거 아니에요. 그러면서 그 상대방은 이 사람이 하는 말을 자꾸 귀로 들어서 무슨 말인지를 이해하려고 한다고.
TPR stands for Total Physical Response, and it's learning a language through movement.
I like to use my fingers. So what I do is I go like this. I go jump, walk, run, turn around, sit down, stand up, dance, talk, yell, complain, look, watch TV.
It is really considered, and it is, experience shows and science shows that it's one of the most powerful teaching techniques.
Let's summarize. You need to listen to the other person repeatedly, but it must be active, not passive. You have to concentrate on the speaker's words and try to grasp the meaning, just like a baby listens to their mother. Are you getting a sense of the input method now? Lastly, let's take a look at Professor Jiff's study method for reference.
You need a language parent, somebody who's going to help you acquire the language, somebody who speaks the language that you want to acquire and help you acquire that language. And the best place to find these people? Number one place is family. There might be someone in your family who speaks the language that you want to acquire. Number two are friends. You might have a friend who speaks the language that you want to acquire. So when you sit down with your language friend, you're going to ask him or her to lovingly describe all of the pictures in the magazine. And while he or she's doing that, of course, you're going to want to participate. And the way you participate is this. He or she's going to ask you simple yes or no questions about the pictures in the magazine. Storytelling is the most powerful way to acquire any language, is that the pictures are very big and the text is very small. Now, your language partner, your language friend, he or she's not going to translate the story. In fact, I don't recommend he translate the story. He or she won't need to translate the story because the pictures are very big. You don't have to retell the story. You're acquiring the language through listening and not speaking. So you do not need to retell the story ever. So once you sit down with your language parent, your language partner, etc., you need to tell them that you have 3 or 4 very important rules. So rule number 1 is no English. Please don't speak any English at all. It's just a gesture. You're going to act it out. You're going to try to get the person to understand what you're trying to say. Number 2, if you don't understand and I don't understand, you're going to draw. I always bring pencil and papers to all of my language sessions. And rule number 3, no corrections. So I'm going to ask my friend, and you're going to need to ask your friend, please don't correct me at any time. And the reason is correction does not work. It's basically a waste of time.
Yes, it's such an excellent study method. However, I worry that some of you may find it difficult to meet a language parent, depending on your environment. That's the reason I started making these videos, so I can become your language parent and help you acquire Korean. Starting from the next episode, I'll begin reading movie scripts entirely in Korean. I've decided to call this 대본 씹어먹기. It's not just about reading. I'll do my best to reflect everything we talked about today and deliver it in a way that's fun, easy, and quick to understand. Although I'm new at this and maybe a bit awkward at first, I believe with your support, I'll keep getting better. I hope to become your Korean language parent and friend, helping you improve your Korean skills. So, let's get started with Time to Learn Korean with me, Kay. P.S. Unfortunately, Korean is classified as a level 5 language, one of the hardest to learn.
You'll find the easiest languages.
Spanish, Italian, French, Portuguese, Romanian. German is a little more difficult. The grammar, the German
Level 5. The most difficult languages.
Those are Japanese, Chinese,
Korean. And according to the State Department of the United States, it should take you 2,200 hours to acquire one of these languages.
2,200 hours. If you study 10 hours a week, that's a 4-year journey. So please, I sincerely ask that you prepare yourself mentally and emotionally for this long voyage. It won't be easy, but with dedication, you'll get there. Okay, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.